Friends, we have come to the very interesting topic. Before which, I would like to introduce you to the concept of effects of marriage. So, marriage, obviously, because it is a legal relationship, there are certain rights and duties which are created when once the marriage is conducted, marriage is performed, and therefore, if any party is not complying with those duties which are imposed on him or her, there has to be a remedy available for it. Therefore, we need to see this section 9 of Hindu Marriage Act, which is restitution of conjugal rights. The rights which are created with reference to marriage are called as conjugal rights. So, if at all a person is not complying with the conjugal rights, then like we have the remedy of restitution in civil matters, the similar remedy of restitution of conjugal rights is available under the Hindu law. This provision says that when either of the party, that is the husband or the wife, has without a reasonable excuse withdrawn from the society of other, the aggrieved party may apply by a petition to the district court for the restitution of conjugal rights. And the court, on being satisfied of the truth of statements made in the petition and that there is no legal ground why application should not be granted, may decree restitution of conjugal rights accordingly. Where the question arises whether there has been a reasonable excuse for withdrawal from the society, the burden of proving reasonable excuse shall be on the person who has withdrawn from the society. So, let me give you some examples over here. Let us say that A and B have married, and suddenly B got a job opportunity in some other city. A is already settled and having his job in one city, and B, who is his wife, has got now a job in another city. And they both mutually decide that it is fine, we can have a weekend marriage relationship. You work for the week in the other city, I will work for the week in this city, and at the weekend, either I will visit your place or you visit my place. This is not hampering the conjugal rights of the parties. However, if one party, like which is specifically written here, without reasonable excuse, just because I don't want to stay with you, leaves the house, then in that case, that will be a fit situation for claiming restitution of conjugal rights. Contrary to this, we should also understand that if a party is telling the other party to leave the house, here the party which has left the house is the aggrieved party, because the aggrieved party only can make an application. And then, if let us say, for example, A and B, the same A and B, A being the husband, B being the wife, and A here tells or drives his wife out of his house, and later on makes an application to the court that, see, my wife is not living with me, tell her to live with me or else do something about it, and asks for a restitution of conjugal rights. In this scenario, the court will have to understand who exactly is the reason because of which the parties are not staying together. Here in this case, A is the reason why B is not staying with A, and therefore the provision of restitution of conjugal rights will not be claimed or should not be rightfully claimed by A. B, on the other hand, if makes an application that my husband has driven me out of the house and I want to stay with my husband, her plea of restitution of conjugal rights will definitely be taken into consideration by the court. One thing which we need to also know is that restitution of conjugal rights cannot by any way compel any person to start living with the spouse. This is just a decree, but it cannot be executed for the simple reason you cannot compel people to live as a husband and wife. There has to be mental uh, connection which has to be established. All the other things will fall in place only when there is acceptance mentally. So, it is not possible to execute the decree of restitution of conjugal rights, and therefore, there is a subsequent remedy available that if parties don't comply with the decree of restitution, then either of the party can ask for divorce on the ground that there is no resumption of cohabitation, on restitution of conjugal rights. Thank you, friends. This is about restitution. We will continue the topic of judicial separation and divorce in the next session.